Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Saturday, January 31st, 2015. I'm astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Check out my website, theleoking.com. If you want to book a reading with me, I have openings available in February, and if you want to get access to my monthly horoscopes, which you can purchase, which tomorrow on February 1st, you can go to theleoking.com and purchase my monthly horoscope. Check it all out at theleoking.com. But before we take a look at all the planets, let's take a look at the Leo King Planet Energy Meter to understand where all the energy is for your Saturday. And I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday coming into this. And I'm going to put the energy meter at the extreme position. A lot turning on this Saturday as Mars conjuncts Chiron. Now this is a very odd angle because number one, this doesn't happen a lot. It's two energies that are very opposite and they're in a weird place, Pisces. And so our masculine side, our drive, the ability to take action and go forward in our life, this is also the things we identify with. This is also your strength. Comes into Chiron, the wounded healer, the aspect that's very sensitive, the aspect that's very wounded in some ways. But Chiron and Pisces to me is our sensitivities and a learning to go with the flow. And when Mars is already trying to learn to go with the flow, or our actions are having to learn to go with the flow, this also is triggered by a moon in Cancer, which adds to this really deep emotional place of learning to surrender, while Aquarius is always about figuring it out. And as we have a Mercury retrograde still happening, I know when I look at today, there's a need for us to learn to check in with our feelings, but also at the same time know that, it's okay if we can't get what we want right away. It's okay if we can't, push. A lot of compassion is needed right now. Venus as well is coming over Neptune, coming off a square to Saturn. And this really highlights learning to surrender more, learning to be compassionate, learning to see that if you're pushing the fantasy or pushing the imagination, I think that's what's important. Because without imagination, we don't know what to make with reality. Reality can become bland, it can become boring. And this is definitely not a time about how hard you integrate your reality, but how powerful you are in seeing parts of yourself that you can't see, going behind the curtain and looking, doing things behind the scenes. And Chiron and Mars, if you were born with it, this can usually highlight a masculine issue, an issue around you not being able to move forward, an issue around having your strength, but realizing that you do have it in ways to heal yourself. And I think that that's what we're realizing now, is maybe our strength right now isn't so much about accomplishing the world, but realizing that we can accomplish, or we could take action in healing ourselves. We could take action in finding parts of our emotional self that we can integrate this Aquarius and this retrograde with figuring out new ways to get out of stumbling on ourselves, and that it's okay when we stumble. Of course, when we stumble in the hard ways, it could be sometimes hard for us to think to be compassionate, because it's like, well, I don't ever want to do it again, so I got to be hard on myself. But there's an aspect where you only get positive with meeting it with positive. You only get compassion with meeting it with compassion. And this is a time that no matter what has gone on in your life, and with a moon getting ready to trigger the Pluto-Uranus square, and a moon in Cancer, by the way, our moods are going to be highlighted. And with South Node on Uranus, anything can happen. Mass, change. Finding ways to get unstuck. Finding ways to stop having the straw house fall down and build a brick house in our life. And so today will really test you in all aspects, but at the same time, I think be a powerful message to yourself and your feelings of realizing that you can move forward, you can change your life, you can move forward, but maybe it's about moving forward in the simplest ways first, the ways of our soul, the ways of our compassions, and the ways that truly allow us to align with focusing on the most highly valuable, nurturing, beautiful side of ourselves that, believe it or not, is more powerful than getting the job done sometimes. Check out my website, theleoking.com, if you have any questions, and I will see you on Sunday.